Before we begin the more of an academic discussion, no, we are not forensic entomologists. We thought about taking some, courses in that. Basically, in our earlier years, we liaised with people who are experts in the field, PhDs in forensic entomology. So we picked up on a lot of these, you know, not weird or wacky ideas, but the scientific concepts of basically decomposition and basically in the context of forensic entomology and medical examiners, they're basically trying to determine the, for example, stage of decomposition, cause of death, how long someone has been dead or something. But we're not experts, so we're just pivoting to a general discussion begin. Before we begin part two of the forensic discussion, first of all, as a disclaimer, there's no actual human remains, no macabre human body, no body parts. Uh, if and once we encounter remains, you're not going to see it. No, not on this platform or any platform. That would be for law enforcement. But basically, in terms of the discussion here, so basically, if you look at the arid environments, low humidity, dry climate, very low humidity, arid environments, the Mojave deserts and surrounding areas, you're going to have a very different rate of decomposition. Um, for again, disclaimer: there's no decomposition happening in this scene, okay? But this is more of an extrapolation. Uh, but basically, in certain environments, the rate of decomposition is going to fundamentally differ, say, from a tropical, humid, acidic environment, where decomposition, where the gauntlet of the stages of decomposition is run through very fast, and you may have human skeletal remains for anywhere maybe perhaps from 20 years, 50 years, um, where even the skeletal remains decompose. And but in an arid environment, you might have non biodegradable elements, including biodegradable skeletal remains that don't degrade until for hundreds of years. So basically, in terms of basically materials, mixed materials, synthetic materials, rubber, petroleum products, synthetic, weird, whatever materials you're talking about. For example, shoe, basically a pair of hiking shoes, hiking boots might might remain um, might remain in some state for upwards of 20 years or more easily. Um, so in a desert environment, it's very possible in an actual remain situation, you're going to be looking out for example, a shoe. You might be there might be um, perhaps it's macabre, but there could be skeletal remains. You might find nothing but basically a piece of bone and shoe and anything that won't degrade. So, for example, look at tin cans. Um, for example, gunmetal. That's not going to that basically if you're talking about gunmetal, that's going to be around for hundreds of years. That's much more. But basically, um, it is very important to understand the different conditions. So if you're looking at a recovery case scenario in an arid environment, acidic soils, organisms in that soil, that's going to decompose the body. But you're looking at arid environment where, based on extrapolating the rate of decay, rate of decomposition of these animal carcasses, um, it you can see a much more slowed, um, much more prolonged decomposition process, and where where bones are likely to remain hundreds of years. Uh, so it's very different when you're looking for, say, a missing person in the Mojave Desert uh, versus, say, if in a tropical acidic environment where the ground soil will quickly assume any biological elements.